Quasi here, and in this video, I'm going to share with you my daily routine and really how I structure my days to get the most out of it. What I started to use when I began this journey towards entrepreneurship before I even had a business. Okay, when I was just at the working stages of my business, and even to this day, why this routine actually stuck, and I still use this because it was really that powerful. Okay, by the end of this video, you're going to learn the exact morning routine, the daily routine that I use, how I structure my workday, how I end my work days, how what I even do before going to sleep, my wind down routine. This is going to be a very, very powerful video for you because I've never really shared this before, but also it took me a really long time to iterate and tweak to figure out and really master this. Okay, so make sure you stick around to the very end of this video. Before I begin this video, I want to quickly announce that a couple of spots have opened up for the free one-to-one consult with me and my team for the Reality Mastery program. Make sure you wait around till the end of the video for the announcement on that. And with that, let's get started. So today I want to talk to you about this concept of a daily routine and why it can be very, very powerful, but also why it can be so detrimental if used the wrong way, just like any tool, right? So what I saw was that in my life, what routine did was it reduced all the complexity and all the chaos. Okay, so routine will always help you reduce chaos, and if you have something that's proven, that's a system, it is scalable. Okay, just like a business, when you have a proof of concept, you know a product sells and clients buy that product, there is a proof of concept around that, and it can be scaled up. If one person buys it, more people are going to buy it. If this routine works, then I can sort of use this every single day and structure things around it to make it work even better, to help me get to better and better levels in my business. So this is something that I saw was personally powerful for me. Now, what most people do is the biggest mistake they make is they start to copy other people and what they do and the other people's routines. I remember I saw Sadhguru's routine and I started to try and copy him back when I was really following him and going through his stuff. And what I saw was that he goes to bed at 12 o'clock and wakes up at 4 a.m., right? He sleeps a good 4 hours and I can't do that. My body, my metabolism needs more than 4 hours, maybe 8 hours to actually be fully rested. So that wasn't something that was effective for me. So you can't go around copying other people and their routines. Even if you're looking at this, you can take ideas from it. Okay, what is even more powerful than the actions of other people, of successful people, is replicating their state of being. Okay? If you model someone's state of being, that is more powerful than modeling what they're doing. Because at different stages in your life, you need to do certain things based on what is required at this particular stage. For example, if I'm at this level in my business right now and I start to model Jeff Bezos' routine, that's not something that's going to be effective for me. Because he's at a completely different level. Like he's a multi-billionaire, right? So to understand this, you got to understand you must do what is necessary for you. That is the doingness. The doingness comes from beingness and understanding where you are, where it is you want to be. So getting clear on what it is you want and the goal you're optimizing for also helps you develop a very, very powerful routine around that, okay? So most try to really replicate others. And this isn't something that you should be doing. Because understand the doing and what you do, the techniques, the tactics, the strategies, that's just the 20%. That is not the 80% and the foundations that's going to cause a profound change in your life. Okay? That's something I had to learn the hard way after trying to copy everyone and copy Tony Robbins' morning routine, which wasn't the most effective for me. So this takes a lot of trial and error to figure out. Okay? And understand that one of the most important parts that I learned on this journey is that your morning is the most powerful part of your day, okay? So the morning sets momentum for the rest of the day. What do I mean by that? Well, if you look at it like this, when I woke up in the morning, if I would check my phone and my notifications and my emails first thing in the morning, this is a trap most entrepreneurs, most business owners fall into. That sets you into a momentum of going to social media and getting that dopamine spike every 5 minutes. You get into a momentum of checking your phone and your notifications. That's the worst thing you can do for you. You just become a dopamine addicted animal. What you need to create in your life as a business owner is space. If you want to become successful at following your own path, you need to start thinking organically rather than reasoning through analogy and seeing what other people do. Okay, once you start to do that, once you're able to really think for yourself and not have someone else think for you, we've been conditioned our whole lives to have society think for us and not see what we need to do in our lives, right? We sort of get spoon-fed by society and the 9-to-5 job and, getting the bi-weekly paycheck, and we've become slaves to a structure. So the key for you now as a business owner is you following your own path and seeing what is needed right now for society, for the market, okay? So this also requires you starting to think organically, reasoning through first principles. If you want to see a video I made about that, click up here to check that out. But essentially, understand that morning sets the momentum for the rest of your day. If you start to become a dopamine addicted animal in the morning and you keep checking every single notifications, the rest of your day will turn out that way as well. I saw that when I started my mornings off with a lot of space and I started to really empty my mind, quiet myself and do certain activities, it would carry on throughout the rest of the day and the productivity would naturally follow. But what I want you to take away from this video, okay, is not that, this morning routine that I'm going to share with you isn't just a patch for all of your problems. Chances are there's a deeper cause for your problems. A morning routine, a daily routine, or a nightly routine isn't going to solve it. It's going to alleviate it, okay? So the key is you want to use this routine to sort of supplement what's already there. If you have the right sort of embellishments, it just makes you go that last 10%. But if the 80% is missing, you're just going to have the cherry without the cake itself. Okay, so make sure you have all of the foundation set. Make sure you're clear about your life, which is exactly what we do in the Reality Mastery Program. Help you set those foundations so that you can build up on top of that and edge the last 10%. See what's missing for your life. Okay, so now I want to share with you this morning routine that completely changed my life, this daily routine rather, that completely changed everything for me. And there's a reason why this is stuck for so long. And I remember I started this routine in 2019, February, back when I really went on this journey towards entrepreneurship. But back then I was in college, I was doing my senior year, so I had a lot of classes, and at the same time I was working on my business. So for those of you who are watching, probably you're mostly business owners, maybe you have your own business, but also maybe you are a professional and you have a 9-to-5 job and you have to do those work hours. So I'm really going to share with you the tweaks to help you make this happen so maybe you can make that transition fully into entrepreneurship. Okay, but also to help you supplement and get that productivity and milk the most out of this routine. Okay? So basically this is how I did it. Essentially, I would start off my days there's two versions of it. Back then, I started off my days at 5:30 a.m. I would have an alarm for 5:30 a.m. I would wake up then. Actually, I think I started waking up naturally at one point at 5:30 a.m. So I would wake up at 5:30 a.m., but now I'm going to share with you the most recent one. Now I've started waking up at 7 a.m. So 7 a.m., wake up. There's a lot of reasons why I've started to wake up at 7 a.m. I have this little ring here, as you guys may have noticed in some of my previous videos. What this ring does is it tells me all of my stats, all of my sleep score, how much rapid eye movement I've gotten, how much deep sleep I've gotten, how much light sleep I've gotten. It's called an aura. Okay, and what I saw was that when I started tracking my sleep and everything, back when I was waking up at 5:30 a.m., I wasn't tracking my sleep. I saw that every single day I was sleep deprived and I could barely think. By the end of the day, my brain was jelly, right? That's not what's supposed to happen. You should be almost at a sort of neutral energy level. And by the time you fall asleep, then you get tired. Okay, when you're tired, then you go to sleep. But that wasn't happening for me. I would get tired and drowsy even halfway through the day. So I saw that I wasn't getting enough sleep for my needs, and I had a lot of awake time, a lot of thinking, a lot of, thing that sort of kept me up in the middle of the night. So back in the day, I used to sleep from 10 p.m. to 5:30 a.m., but now I've extended that by an hour and a half from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Okay, so when I started to increase that sleep time, I saw that I started performing better. I was showing up better on my calls. I was getting better ideas because I had more rapid eye movement, more time for my brain to recover. This is all a mental game. When you do a business, when you're a business owner, it's all a mental game. Everything is a mental game. If your mind isn't refreshed and isn't recovered, you're not going to have the creative ideas that you need to help your business move forward. So the biggest tweak I made from what it was back then to what it is now is basically just waking up an hour and a half later. And what that helped me do was, again, feel more refreshed coming into work. So I wake up now at 7 a.m., okay? And then I review my goals, and I take a cold shower. A cold shower is an awesome thing to do, like an ice cold shower, even in the middle of the winter. The colder it is outside, the more uncomfortable it is, the better. It literally invigorates every single cell of your body because you've just woken up from a warm bed and now you're getting into an ice cold shower. That big contrast really helps you get alive, but it also helps you satisfy one of the main requirements of the day, which is you're in control, not your body. Because if you take a warm shower and you come to work all lazy and comfortable, then you're not going to be able to break free from this comfort zone. So going against yourself, doing something uncomfortable first thing in the day really sets up that momentum, gives you that win. Okay, because you want to start off your day with wins. And when you get to a win first thing in the day, you get into an effect, a momentum of winning, called the winner effect. There's a great book on that. Make sure you check that out. It's called the winner effect. I have it somewhere in my library. But essentially, the idea is that, the more you get into winning, the more you do things that help you feel like a winner, the more you're going to start winning in other areas of your life as well. Okay? I've also made a video on that. Click up here to check that out. So I take my cold shower. It helps wake up every single cell in my body. Even when it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside, I'll take that ice cold shower, even if it's for 5 minutes. Right? Take ice cold shower. By 7:45, I'm ready to do my morning yoga. This was something that was a game changer for me because I saw that this form of yoga that I do, it's also taught by Satguru. It's called Shambhavi Mahamudra. If you take inner engineering, you can learn that. And I started doing that. It helped my mind sort of get stiller and get more and more into awareness. So I've been doing that since April of 2019. I even do it till this day. So 7:45 a.m. I do yoga. It helps me get into the right momentum of the day, clear my mind, and have a stiller mind so I can bring that into the work. Okay? So 7:45 a.m. yoga, and maybe depending on the day, I'll do a quick 30-minute workout. And during quarantine right now, I've been just doing a quick 20 to 30-minute workout because I want to get to work as quickly as possible. The workout is for me to really push myself a little bit, but also to get to that, again, momentum of sort of doing something uncomfortable, something that has a lot of resistance first thing in the day so I can get into that momentum for the rest of the day. Okay, so workout plus I'll have a little shake, maybe breakfast, you might call it, to help me sort of get my blood sugar back because by now my brain is fried. Okay, so that's what I'll do. And 8:30 a.m. to 9, I'm at work. So at work, I will usually, first of all, start the day off with morning planning the whole day, but sort of doing my journaling and everything. Basically getting into the right state for the day, tracking my sleep, looking at what I have for the day, looking at the calendar, and planning things out. So, plus journal. Those of you in the Reality Mastery Program, you know what kind of journaling it is that we do here. So, basically, work plus journal. And from 9 a.m. to 11:30, first work block. Now, this is key. When you are getting into work, most people don't leave enough time. They don't leave sufficient time for them to actually sit down and do the work. Because it takes at least 30 minutes for you to switch tracks from what you were doing to what you want to do now. That's what I've seen at least. So if you set an hour, nothing can get done in an hour. If you want to actually do deep work, minimal, you want to set at least 3 hours. Okay, so basically setting a 2.5 to 3 hour work block so you can sit down and really get into that intense focus, in that deep focus state. No social media, nothing, put everything away, no push notifications. Jesus, if you're doing push notifications, I feel sorry for you. Because even if you don't intend to answer your Gmail or you see an email come up but you don't intend to answer it, you're still gonna be thinking about it throughout the whole work block, right? So have the first work block at 9 to 11:30, and then from 11:30 to 12, I have a proper meal. Now, I don't usually have that shake. It's usually the days that I actually work out because I want to get my calories up that day, or else I'll be losing a lot of weight. So usually I do intermittent fasting. Okay, I'll have like a tablespoon of ghee to help me get into sort of ketosis, but also it helps my brain. When you get into a ketogenic state, it helps your brain function a little bit better. So having a tablespoon of clarified butter, which is ghee, and you have that first thing in the morning, heat up a tablespoon, have it first thing in the morning, and then get into work with that. It helps a lot. And 11:30 to 12, I'll have my first meal of the day. And then from 12 to 3, I'll have a second work block. Now, the second work block, or I'll do calls. I'll do the consult calls, right? So from 12 to 3, another work block. And then again, from 3 to 6, the third work block, or doing calls again. So 3 to 6 p.m. work block. So basically my work hours are from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Usual 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. So following this routine 6 days a week, and then Sundays, basically wife days. So from 6 p.m. to 6:30, review the whole day. Basically looking at your performance. How did you perform today? What went well? What would you improve on? And then planning tomorrow today. So what do I want to accomplish tomorrow? Plus plan tomorrow. This is important because I saw that there's a huge difference in scurrying around trying to plan the day in the morning of the actual day itself versus planning tomorrow, today. Because now you have a lot of more room. Because ideally, like I even plan my months in advance, what I want to do today, this month, or even in the quarter. Once you start to get into business and you start to understand and you get more clarity around what you want, it becomes easier and easier to plan a lot of things ahead in time. Like usually I'll plan my whole year out in advance because I know exactly where it is I want to go, what the goal is, and I know how to reverse engineer that and break it down into the days. It doesn't happen overnight, but the more experience you get in this journey, the more you're able to do that. So 6 p.m. to 6:30 review, plan tomorrow. Then 6:30 to 7, dinner. And then 7 to 9:30, I will hang out with wife and leisure. And I've run out of space. So from 9:30 to 10 is wind down period. This is key for me because if you don't wind down before bed, usually 2 hours before bed I'll start the wind down process, right? So winding down means you get rid of all social media, don't check phones, no screens at all. If you have like a blue light blocking glasses, you wear those, or basically low intensity activities that don't drain too much of your mental power, that don't stimulate you too much. Okay, things that are less stimulating. Maybe you can read a book, meditate, whatever it is. And then right before bed, I'll take a warm shower because it helps me. It sort of signals to my brain to calm down. I'll use an acupuncture mat to sort of lie down on. It also helps me get into that state of, okay, it's time for sleep. And then by 10 p.m., I'm in bed. So from 10 to maybe 10:15, it takes me 15 minutes, maybe even less, 5 to 10 minutes to fall asleep. And then again, repeat the same thing next day, 7 a.m. Now, most people are reluctant to having routines because it sort of gets rid of that freedom that you want in your life, but it actually doesn't. Like there's a lot of freedom in routine because if you get rid of this portion of chaos in your life where you don't even know what to scurry around, so you scurry around and do something, you don't know what to do, you're just looking to do something, then, you have less freedom available to actually pursue the creative endeavors within the business itself. Because there's a lot of chaos within the business as well. There's this global chaos and the local chaos, right? If you get rid of the global chaos, like the big picture, then you can play around with the local chaos, right? And then within the local chaos, there's more sort of global and local substances. So it's basically like isolating all of these variables. So you can change one variable at a time and sort of become a scientist so that you can see where the cause and effect relationship chains are. So that's what I aim to do with my routine. Now, is this routine going to be permanent? I don't know. The routine is only to see how I can optimize creativity, optimize productivity. Right? If I want to get creative and I want to become someone different, I'm probably going to change this routine up. I'll probably maybe increase work hours or decrease work hours. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much you work. It's about how much you get done with the time that you have. Okay, it's the efficiency. It's how you work. That was the most important thing for me in this journey. Because I would see that if I had maybe even an hour of free time, instead of just, spending it in reading a book or just doing nothing, I would scurry around and try to find something to do. So this is what we call doing for the sake of doing, which is something you absolutely want to avoid. That kills creativity, that kills productivity as well. And you want to do something that's already planned. If you don't have anything to do, don't do anything at all. The best thing you can do is just do nothing. Just sit down and do nothing. Just be. Learn to just be. Because we use doingness as a distraction for beingness, right? Who can just sit down and not do anything? Like, have you ever just sat down on a couch or a sofa or, on a chair and done nothing, right? That's the most powerful thing of all. So this is basically my daily routine, and I want to leave you off with 3 keys to help you understand the core principle behind it better, because this is just a gimmick. If you follow this, you will see results out of it, sure. But you want to understand the core principles of what makes this routine the way it is. And one of the principles is, again, that work block time and the momentum concept, and also, basically getting yourself into sort of state so you can perform at the same level every single day and reducing that chaos. So now I want to share with you the 3 keys to help you fully understand this and to be able to make your own routine so that you perform at the maximum level. Okay, so key number 1, understand what you're actually optimizing for. Like, in your life right now, what is the goal? What are you optimizing for? Because whatever you're optimizing for, all of the things that the doingness will be tailored around that. If you're optimizing for an X amount of clients in your business per month, you're optimizing for a certain revenue, you want to reverse engineer that to what you need to do to help you get to that. Right? Let's say you want to get to a 10K month in your business. Well, in order to get to a 10K month, how many clients do you need to get? And in order to get this many clients, how many calls or prospecting activities do you need to do? And in order to do those prospecting activities, how much time do you need to spend per day? And in order to spend that time a day, how can you do it the most efficient manner? AKA, what routine do you need to help you do that, basically? And how many days in advance do you want to plan that? How many days do you need this month to help you do that? So basically crafting it around that, right? That's basically number 1, optimizing for. What are you optimizing for? Get clear on that. At this point in your life, what are you optimizing for? What are your non-negotiables? So the non-negotiables you basically put in your calendar, like let's say, my work hour is 9 to 5. And then from 5 to 9, I have time to work on my business. So then how do you structure that? A lot of people sacrifice sleep to be working on their business. Sometimes you need to do that. I did that too when I started up my business. I remember I had this internship and I would do the internship and I'd have to wake up at 5:30, right? And from 5:30 to 3 p.m., I would go to work and then I would come back at 3:30, 4, have a quick nap, and then from 5 to 10, I would basically do 2 work blocks. Okay, so how do you structure your business, basically? How do you structure your life so that it fits around that goal that you have? And then slowly weaning yourself away from that 9 to 5 and the safety structure of a full-time career, right? So at this point in your life, you've got to understand what you need to do to help you get to that next step and that next step. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that principle of minimum work block time. I would say 2.5 to 3 hours. Make sure you always set aside 2.5 to 3 hours. This was something key for me because when I set like an hour aside, I could get nothing done. It would take me an hour to fully get into state and fully to get into that deep work state. So make sure you set around 2.5 to 3 hours time so your brain gets fully, all of you is within this. Okay, you're away from that previous activity that you're doing and you're fully immersed in what you're doing now. Okay? And put away all social media and everything. You know, that's not going to serve you. Number 3, you want to, basically this principle is important. Create space. Whatever you do, create space. Get rid of all, again, devices. Stop checking everything incessantly. Just learn to sit down for a good 5-10 minutes before you even begin the work block. This was super crucial for me. Just sitting there, doing nothing, staring into space, even just planning how I'm going to conduct this work block, right? So you sit there, you create space around you. Your whole lifestyle needs to be ameliorated in order to create space for the next thing that you're about to do, what you want to create. Because if you are in a reactive mode, you're never going to be able to be proactive. If you're reactive to the social media, you're reactive to the people around you, you're reactive to the environment that you are, you'll never be at the cause, you'll never be able to create something beautiful. Okay? So you want to cultivate a lifestyle of creating space. How do you create space? Well, just letting yourself sort of be and undisturbed and at peace and at ease, not being bombarded by a million things, right? So reducing all complexity in your life. Like in my morning routine, I don't have 1,000,001 different things in that. The less you do, the more you can achieve. I'm so serious when I say this. Like you want to always do more with the least that you have. Because the more things that you have and the more things that you have to do, the more complexity it creates. This goes against like Gary Vee sort of mindset where he's trying to do all of the things at once. But I just think that's bullshit. Because I tried to do a lot of different things. And I saw that I would be a jack of all trades, but not really good at anything. So a lot of sacrifices needed to be made in order to focus on this one thing that I'm trying to do, one main thing that I actually do. That's why I don't have like 1,000,000 different products. You know, I don't make 1,000,000 different online courses. I just have the one program and I just do it really well. I would much rather do that than have like 5 or 6 different courses that I offer for like $97, right? So that's what you want to think about. Basically, what it is that you want to create in your life. Are you living by your principles? And what are you optimizing for? Are you creating space in your life? Or are you just being reactive to what you're seeing around you, what other people are doing, right? So create space, optimize, and work block time 2.5 to 3 hours. With that, I conclude this video. I sincerely hope this was helpful. I know this was something different, but please let me know in the comments what you thought of this and if this was actually beneficial for you. I'd love to know. And as I mentioned before, the free one-to-one consult with me and my team for the Reality Mastery Program is now open. If you're interested in signing up for that, make sure you click on the link in the description below. Who we work with are typically as follows. First of all, professionals who are looking to transition out into entrepreneurship. They have all of the business models, tactics, and strategies. They've tried the Amazon FBA, the drop shipping, the stock trading, and they see that they're never able to get the kind of traction that they want to fully transition out. They always return back to their 9 to 5. And it's not because they have a business model problem, because other people are getting successful with these business opportunities, but rather they see that it's them. Something internal is keeping them stuck here. They're only worthy of the 9 to 5, so the cubicle and the 9 to 5 is what they keep returning to. The same thing with the entrepreneurs that we work with. They're stuck at the 5K months. They're stuck at the 10K, 20K, 30K months. They want to scale up their businesses, but they're not able to do so because, despite having all the business coaches, all of the tactics and strategies, they're seeing that it's an internal ceiling that keeps them stuck here. They're only worthy of the 10K, 20K months, so that's what they keep staying stuck at. Okay? If that sounds like you want to scale up your business, make sure you click on the link in the description below to sign up, and I hope I see you there. Also, a free Facebook group is open for you to take advantage of. The link for that is also in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.